Welcome to this Delft Stack tutorial. Today we will learn how to compare two arrays in Python. In this tutorial we will cover four primary methods for comparing arrays. First we will use the equal sign operator and numpy.array equal to check if arrays are identical. Second, we will use the numpy.all close function to compare arrays with floating point numbers while considering numerical tolerance. Third, we will explore element-wise comparison using numpy.where and numpy.isin, which are useful for locating differences between two arrays. Finally, we will use the numpy.all function to check if all elements satisfy a given condition. Let's dive in and explore these methods in detail. Comparing arrays is essential in data analysis, machine learning, and general programming to check for equality, differences, and element-wise comparisons. Let's discuss methods to perform this operation. Let's start with the first method. The equal sign operator performs an element-wise comparison between two arrays, returning a Boolean array where each element indicates whether the corresponding elements in the input arrays are equal. The numpy.array equal function checks if two arrays are completely identical and returns a single Boolean value. We will use them to make a similar comparison. Let's see this with an example. We can see that the first output is a Boolean array where each element is true if the corresponding elements are equal. The second output is a single Boolean value indicating the arrays are completely identical. The numpy.all close function checks if two arrays are element-wise equal within a specified tolerance, which is provided using the atoll parameter. This is particularly useful for comparing floating point numbers, where small precision differences can occur. Let's understand this with an example. Here, the all close function returns true if the difference between corresponding elements is within the specified tolerance. This prevents errors caused by floating point precision issues. In this method, we will demonstrate the use of two functions. The numpy.where function identifies the indices where two arrays differ, while the numpy.isin function checks if elements from one array exist in another. These functions are useful for filtering and locating differences in data sets. Let's see how to use this method. In this example, numpy.where returns the indices where the elements in array 1 and array 2 differ. The numpy.isin function returns a Boolean array checking whether each element in array 1 exists in array 2. We can see that there are two differences in the arrays. The numpy.all function checks whether all elements in an array satisfy a given condition. This can be used to verify if two arrays are completely equal or if all elements in an array meet a certain threshold. Let's use this function. The first check returns true since all elements in array 1 and array 2 match. The second check returns true since all elements in array 1 are greater than 0. To summarize, we explored four methods to compare two arrays in Python. First, we used the equal sign operator and the numpy.array equal function for basic equality checks. Second, we used numpy.all close for floating point comparisons to account for minor numerical differences. Third, we used numpy.where and numpy.isin for element-wise comparison to find differences and common elements. Finally, we use numpy.all to verify whether all elements satisfy a specific condition, making it useful for validation checks. Each method serves different purposes, so choose the one that best fits your needs. Remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more such tutorials. Also, check out the website delftstack.com for articles on Python tutorials.